you about myself. Like she introduced Zaron Cosmetics. We're barely 5 years. We turned 5 years in September, and God has been awesome. In 5 years, we have grown to 30 franchise outlets without debt. We're not owing any bank. We have built businesses in Nigeria. We have also made products that are suitable for us. And one of the positive parts of it is that it's been a mutually beneficial relationship. So we've built a business, but at the same time, we've built Nigeria by building businesses. We have over 1,000 distributors nationwide and in other African countries. So I'm so grateful for where Zaron is today. And my journey to Zaron started from my past, really. So I can't start talking about Zaron without talking about my past, because there's so much to learn from my past. My past actually birthed my journey to Zaron. So prior to Zaron, I used to be a banker. I used to work in GTBank. And I was married to my best friend, right? We're living in this lovely. And before I start talking about my past, I have to acknowledge my children because she wants me in the house. So I have much more than anything else. What I'm most proud of is I have two wonderful children. I have Zaron, she's 12 years old, going on 21, and I have Mona is 10 years old. I love them to bits. I'm a single mom, so it's just three of us. Although sometimes I want to put them up on sale. So, and yes, and also one of the things I'm most proud of really is the fact that I'm a Christian in the marketplace. I think my journey is not complete without acknowledging the fact that I'm a God lover, and He's been extremely merciful to me and my family. So like I was saying, thank you, sir. See, those are one of the people I put there to write you. Well done, keep doing that. So yes, my journey. I was working in Zenith and I was married to my best friend. And we had a Zara was 2 years old. We had just given birth to Zara, and it was a pretty happy family. I was pregnant with Anna, 7 months pregnant with Anna. And it was on a Thursday, that's 8th of December 2005. And we went to Abuja on a business trip, right? And because I was pregnant, on Friday I was going home after work. I felt the need to be with my husband. And I sent a message to him. He was supposed to come back on a Sunday, but I sent a message to him. I said, please come back home. I'm empty without you. And he changed his flight from Sunday to Saturday. And he never got back home because he was on the Sosoliso flight that crashed with the children. So it was and still the darkest time of my life. But in the midst of all the darkness, all the pain, all the hurt, I said to myself that I will not beg, I will not borrow, I won't be at the mercy of any man. I set out targets for me and my children. I said to myself, I would not be the face of widowhood. And I remember I wrote a tribute to him, and one of the things I said was that you left me because you knew I could take care of your children, and I promised to do you proud. And I went back to work. I think I was earning about 75,000 at that time. So it was hard, or it felt like it was going to be hard. And you hear a lot of negative comments here and there. Your husband is not here. You have to do this. You have to change schools. It's just you. He was 33 when he died. It's not like we were rich. We just had dreams that were working to us. Mrs. B, I like seeing your face. She's encouraging me. Yes, and we were really working towards it. One of the other things I learned early in life is the fact that people were really nice, and people are nice, right? They came and they offered all sorts. His friends, they were amazing. But they said to me, you know what, if you need anything for you and the children, we're available. They meant it. I was appreciative of what they were offering, but I said to myself that you don't depend on anybody. You are the only person in life that can move yourself from A to point B. Make sure you know that. People have challenges in life. People have their own issues to sort out. And I wanted to take my children to certain schools. I wanted certain lifestyle for my children. How do you ask for help to put your children in private schools to pay? Do you understand? So I made sure that I did not depend on man. Very important. So I set out on my own journey in life to build something. And from that point, all the promotions I got in banking, they were all exceptional promotions. I worked and delivered. Every target given to me, I would achieve it because I knew that I had to be this person to take myself to the next level. I did everything I could. I looked for things to do on the side because I felt, okay, the salary wasn't enough. And I did other things on the side. One of the things I did was to be a franchisee to Sleek cosmetic brand. We all know Sleek, right? In Port Harcourt. So I gained a bit of experience there while I was doing that. And after some time, I got to management level and I got bored. And I said, what next? And that was when I wanted more. And I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew that I wanted more. So I packed my bags, sold everything I had, packed my children, went to the UK and went to Leeds Business School. And that's the thing. If you don't know where to start from, I always tell people, go back to the drawing board. Go get some degree, go read something, go research on something, just try to do something. And we went to Leeds. I went to do an MBA. While I was there, still didn't know what to do. So, but I knew that because I was doing well in banking, I felt, I was good in the financial sector. So I said, okay, maybe I'll come back, go to a CBN or something more chill. But while I was in school, it was the case studies that did it for me, really. And I was reading about global brands and things they were doing and all of that. And I said to myself, I'm reading about this, but they've done amazing jobs. Why won't someone read about me someday? Why can't I build something? Why can't I create something? They don't have 5 heads. We are all human beings. It's open where everybody is making products from, right? Everything is available. And that was where the dream of Zaron started from. So I went back to research work. I spoke to everybody that I knew that would help me to get to where I am today. And it was time for my project, and I went to my supervisor. I said, you know what, this is what I'm planning to do back home. And that I would like to use this as a case study. Can I do it? And he obliged me. And I got A. I'm not the smartest of all people, but I made sure I got an A because I really wanted to do it right. So I put my everything to it. And where did I get my random sampling from? I'm saying this because you need to understand if you're starting a business, you have to ask the right question from the right people. I interviewed makeup artists. I interviewed cosmetic retail stores. I interviewed local brand owners. So I covered all the grounds. So I knew that the issues that we had in Nigeria, I came up with 3 findings, right? MJ, please the first slide. And it was the same thing. It was quality, quality, quality. The second one was affordability. If it's local, people must be able to pay for it. What's the income level in Nigeria really? How much can people spend to buy things if you want to do mass market? And the last one was availability. The products have to be available for people, for everybody to get. So I set out to make products. So yes, so this was it. So this was where we started Zaron from. How many of us start businesses by really searching for what we want to do? How many of us go through the pains to make sure that this is what people are looking for? This is what we have to give to people. This was where we started from. And the challenge was to make products that had good quality and at the same time, they're affordable. It's a very tough mix, right? But we tried to do that. So today we can proudly say that Zaron products, the quality is right and it's affordable. So we started, and some of the things we did, our success factor, why did we grow so fast? Why are we where we are today? Some of the things we did is, so these are the things that we have done: power of the mind, passion and drive, distribution network, teamwork, innovation and marketing. I won't flog the power of the mind. I've talked about it, how I started my career and all that. But I noticed that whenever I want to do something in Zaron, the picture is always clear. So I have a mirror image of what I want to do and where I want to go to. So I don't work from the beginning, I start from the end, right? Are you with me? So I start from the end and I make sure that I get to that place. So when I get there, I take the next target and I start working on that. So the mind is very powerful. I call it the concept of faith. So I see it and I work towards it. Okay, passion and drive, yes. I thought my staff would not survive me and what I wanted, because the slogan for our brand when we started was eat Zaron, drink Zaron, and I said to them, even when you're sleeping, sleep Zaron. Zaron should be your life. You have to run with the passion. You have to be everywhere. And some of the things we did was unbelievable. Remember, I was just coming from banking and I was a management staff. And I mean, growing up, I didn't grow up in lack, so it's not like I was used to that kind of lifestyle, right? But I knew I had to build something. So some of the things when we started were like, how do we get people to know about us? My people said, oh, one of the things, affordable things, because we didn't have money. Use the skater boys. You will see those skater boys everywhere, right? Do we see them? That share flyers on the road and all that. They're good, they're amazing, it's good to use them. But I said to them, how will those people know about your brand? What will they say to people when they go out there? How will they tell people that? What do they know about cosmetics? I said, can't we be our own skater boys? And that was exactly what we did. We wore our t-shirts, we did the full makeup look, we went to the streets of Lagos, me inclusive, not minding where I was coming from. And that singular ad gave us 2 franchises today. One of them, the second highest franchises we've ever had. We were talking about cosmetics, we were relating to them, telling them about your products. And I remember one of the ladies said to me, if you can come out here to defend your brand like this, I will buy into it. And she did. So some of us, when we start businesses, we need to defend our brands to the public. We need to be out there. I see a lot of Nigerians very chill about their products, very cool. But sometimes you need to go down to that level to really get your brand out there. So teamwork. I have a power team. Please clap for my team. I appreciate my team. Everything you see in Zaron, and when I say everything, we have not used any consultant to get to where we are. Not because they don't have good consultants to do the job, but because the level where we are, we cannot afford the kind of thing I would want, right? So every single thing is in-house. It's a round table, inclusive of drivers sometimes. You know why? Because they are the market. They are you'll be amazed what they can do. You'll be amazed what they have in them. When we started, a year after we started Zaron, because the vision was very clear, but I had to get my staff to key into the vision. And I bundled all of us. We went to Dubai. Some people never flown an airplane before in their life. We all went, we got an apartment, we stayed together. And the first thing I said to them is, go to the malls, go and see what's happening out there. Go to the international world, because I had a dream. It was very clear. I knew where I was going to. But my team had to key into the same vision. It was very important that your team, some of us in Nigeria, a difference of 20,000 naira is making you not move to the next level. Just pay the right money sometimes. I tell my friends, if you pay this, you would reap much more, long run. So we went there, and our strategic sessions, so we do it in-house. So what I do is share my team into different teams, right? Because everything we do in-house, come up with ideas. Zaron's strategic plan for 2014, 2015. And it's mind-blowing what they come up with. Amazing ideas, because they are the market. So they went out, and after that time, it was very clear. So we're all in sync with where we wanted to go to. And I don't know if this is clear, but for every human being, we have 3 traits in us, right? So it's either you're an artist. An artist means you're skilled, right? Or you're an entrepreneur, risk taker, you bring in businesses and all that. Or you're a manager. So when we want to choose our team, it's very, very important to get the right team. That's why you see footballers, sports people, and musicians, right? They are artists, they're skilled, but they get managers to manage them. So you must realize that when you're setting up your team, you must look for traits that people possess. So if you're an entrepreneur, I'm not a makeup artist. Even if I train, I'm sure I'll be lousy at it. But I said to myself, I have a makeup brand. Do I really want to sit down and do makeup? Or do I want to spend that time to get in businesses, try to do other things? So one of the things I did is that I got the best makeup artists. Some of the best makeup artists, they were working with us. So you will do that, you will go for, but I'll be able to bring in more businesses, channel that time to be more productive. Are we clear? So it's very important that you must get the right team at every point in time. So we got products that we said, okay, our products are affordable. The quality is right. How do we make it available to the market? It's Nigerian market, we must make it available. So we came up with distribution channels through franchising and distributorship. Like I said before, we have over franchise outlets. We have over 1,000. Some students have paid their way through school because of distributorship. And what did it do for us? We did not have to put the capital outlay to erect stores for ourselves. So they would pay the rent, they would build the stores themselves, brand it up themselves. But we gave incentive. We said, we're new in the market, we wanted people to buy into us. Do not pay franchise fee. It's free. But please, pay the rent, nice location, strategic location, do the stores yourself, and we give you products at a margin. You have to pay a certain amount. So there was no capital outlay from us. We would never be where we are if we did not take this initiative. There was no capital, and we leverage on their network. Because we're in Lagos, but these people are all over the country. So we don't know about Ibadan, we don't know about Kaduna, but they understand the market better than us. So we leverage on their network, reduce capital, and it was a mutually beneficial relationship because we're able to build businesses. So this was an amazing idea for us to spread across the country. So this is probably the most important thing you hear me say to you today, innovation. And that is where we have to go in Nigeria. They said any business, the two most important things is innovation and marketing. And one of the best definitions I have for innovation is strategic innovation, creating products for the market. We need to create products for the consumer. If you don't hear anything I've said today, hear this. Do not fall in love with your product. Fall in love with your consumers. Very, very important. We need to have our consumers in mind. Because you know why? They are the ones that will buy into our product. I will take the analogy from some of all this. Being a fashionista doesn't mean that you'll be able to sell clothes. True or false? Kim Kardashian, we all know Kim Kardashian, right? How many of us have, what's K-Dash? What's her fashion line? K-Dash, right? How many of us have any label from her? Exactly. You do. Oh, wow, clap for her. Amazing. I don't. But how many of us know Zara as a brand? How many of us have clothes from Zara? You know why? Kim Kardashian is a fashionista, but she's not into fashion retailing. There's a difference. Because you know what? As much as you're a fashionista, you look good, everybody admires you. How many people can pull that look? Do you understand? If you want to dress, you go to your safe haven. You still buy your regular, simple, affordable, wearable things. People can admire you from afar, but they would not be able to pull that kind of look. But most of us in businesses, we take our passion out there. We try to impose what we love onto the consumers. It was Warren Buffett that said that what I love is my passion, but what the people like is my business. We need to get to that point where we know that we are creating things from the market. Nobody but the market. The market is the consumers are the one that will buy into your products. Like I said, I'm not a makeup artist, but I just had to create products for my market, and they're buying into it. In fact, when people see me that haven't seen me in a while, they go like, really? Okay, cosmetics? They can't marry me and cosmetics, right? So we need to, most fashion brands in Nigeria, we need to learn to go commercial. We have to get to that point where we are creating products for our market. As ridiculous as it may sound, Donald Trump is president of the United States of America. Who would have thought that? Why do you think that happened? Because Donald Trump, before anything else, is a businessman. Running the office of the president is different from campaigning. Campaigning is purely marketing. And he threw something out there for his markets. True or false? The consumer wanted something that Donald Trump had to give. And he gave it, and he stuck there because that was what the market wanted. And it sold. So you just can see that once you do products for your consumers, it definitely would fly. So let's go from that place where we are creating things that you can even switch what you like, your obsession, to suit your market. But you must know what your market wants and need. Then the marketing things that we did one-on-one. Like I said, we went out there, we spoke to people. We did the roadshow stroke activation. I remember when my friend, I was new to Lagos. I hadn't gone further than this area. Then I did road shows. I went to Egbeda. I went to some really, really outrageous places in Lagos. I was grateful to that because it got me to know Lagos better. And my friend said, okay, how do you do it? I was on the bus with them. I made sure that things were properly done and all that. We had dancers on the road. It was really stressful, but I made sure I did it. And she said to me, okay, how do you do it? How do you cope? I said, because you see all these people I see, they are my market. I see Naira and Kobo in front of them. I totally love them. So we did all of that at the beginning. Every single step. We did roadshows. We gave a lot of freebies and goodie bags. Some of us can be stingy with our products. Most of the people that experienced Zaron from the first time was from events. They would say, oh, I used what you put in that bag and all that, and I love the product, and they would come back to buy. So you need to build your market. You need for people to experience your product from that, because the first interaction they would have with your brand might only be through there. So we need to be able to do that. We did a lot of sponsorship. Most of the things you see in magazines, the TW, the Genevieve, and the rest, it was barter deal. We offered them services, and they gave us advertisement in return. And it was really, really good. Then we manage relationships. We call our people family members, right? You need to be able to manage your relationships. You need to be, some of our customers, you need to, we make sure that we give them the right people that will speak to them. Like we have in the cosmetic business, you see a lot of, the biggest pushers of cosmetic business in the market. Funny enough, they are the Igbo traders. They're very good at it. So when I'm going to see those people, I pull up my Igbo card. I'm from Delta State, I'm married to Igbo, so I go like, I'm your wife. So you need to build rapport with your customers. How they start, that a customer used to call. Sometimes when you go to this man, and the staff has small phone, you see that the man is feeling, because it's hard for him to communicate. And you're talking to him, and he's just really struggling. And his order wasn't good. I called, I said, come, where are you from? She says, Iba. I said, are you seriously crazy? Go and speak Igbo to that man. And that was it. The man tripled his order. So whenever the man calls, he goes like, can I speak to my sister? So you need to learn how to communicate with your users, your consumers the right way. But we did all of that, and Zaron was growing, but I think I got bored of the growth. I needed to get from here to here. I will go on the streets, I'll ask people, what product do you have on? They'll tell me Zaron Cosmetics. I will go to some other person and they'll be like, Zaron. I don't know Zaron. I've never heard of Zaron. And I got tired of talking, and I said, how do I do this? How do I get my perception? How do I grow from this local brand image to where I really want to be? How do I get the perception out there? And that was when I went to the high-level marketing. I did not have the money to do that if you look at it from the physical sense, right? Because on the streets of Lagos, when I look, I don't see brands like me out there. I'll be like, it's not for your mates, just wait, you know. But I always used to call MJ, I'll be like, MJ, I see Zaron on 3rd Milan Bridge. I see Zaron here. So I was wrestling with it. So I got to the point, I said, you know what, I'm going to get from here. I'm going to take a huge risk. I'm going to go from here to here. And that was how we started billboards all over Nigeria. We started TV commercials. I will not just do commercials, you not just do billboards. Before we do anything, we do survey. What are people watching? Where are people converging? Where will they see you the most? And when we do survey, you don't have to spend money. I call my people, you know what, we need to ask a few questions, because we don't just do things. Everything is strategic. Okay, get pen and paper, write some questions. Go out, don't give it. Nigerians don't have the habit of filling questionnaires. That's not who we are. Take it to the malls, take it to where people are, ask the question, just simple questions, and write it down. And it's amazing. So we don't just do things. We do things very strategically. And they came back, and it was Telemundo. How many of us know Telemundo? That's what the people watch. So we put our ad on. I'll go to the salon, I'll see Zaron ad. I said, okay, good. I never watched it, but I knew that if I had to get the brand reputation out there, so you need to ask questions. You don't just do things. It has to be strategic. Telemundo, we put our advert on CNN. Why did I do that? Because if you see an ad on CNN, what do you think of the brand? You think it's a really yes. So I needed to take the perception to a different level. People came, oh my goodness, I saw you on CNN. I said, oh yeah, you know? So that was what we did. We put our ad on Big Brother show. Why did I do that? It's watched in all the African countries. The relationship we have, the franchise we have from Zimbabwe came from our ad on Big Brother show. They saw our ad, they called us, we met in South Africa. Now we have one of the biggest retail chains in Southern African market, which is the Edgar stores. We're trying to build the market there. So everything is strategic, and it has completely paid off. So we need more people to believe that you need to get your products out there. Once you do the right publicity at the right time, and you ask the right questions, it puts you out there. Amongst everything we have here, one of the things that is really, really, really disturbing us as a brand is counterfeit. I'm not going to flog counterfeit issues here. I'm hoping that we don't buy counterfeited products here. But I've been shouting, and please, we need the VC's ears. Zaron and Tara are actually coming together to fight counterfeit as a team. So what we have is that they completely throw you out of business, right? And it's really bad. So we need to have a campaign out there against counterfeit. But the other thing I would like to stress on for businesses to grow in Nigeria is attitude to local brands. Before I started the brand, I think when I did my research, one of the biggest challenges is just attitude to local brands. How many of us use Zaron products here? You see, we're not many. We're really not many yet. It's the attitude to local brands. Before, a few years ago, Nigerians would rather Ghanaian products to made in Nigerian products. People just here, the people that, first set of people that use Zaron, they did because they thought it was a foreign brand. Sometimes I swipe my Zaron product with foreign products. I'm like, oh my goodness. Our pigmentation is so right for us. It's so much better. But Nigerians, our mentality, once we hear that it's a local brand, we can't grow our economy like that. I went to South Africa a few months ago, and I was in awe of what I saw. South Korea. I was in awe of what I saw. And you know what they said to me? That all of this started 50 years ago. Just 50 years ago. And South Korea has LG, they have Hyundai, they have Samsung, they have so many brands. And on the streets, their per capita income is very high, so they can afford anything they want to. But on the street, the only cars I saw was their local cars. And I said to people, oh, why, is this all they drive? They said, oh, yes, about almost 90% of the cars they drive in South Korea are local brands. 90% of the phones, the TVs, and all of the works they use there are local brands. And are we wondering why the economy is doing a lot better? We don't buy into us. Some people tried us when we just launched. There is no product that is the same since we started. Everything has gotten better. Foreign brands that you see today, they started from here. You grow, but once you buy a local brand, in fact, you hear a lot of Nigerians saying, it's local brand, don't buy it. We can't grow our economy like that. We need to believe in ourselves. I'm sure everybody sitting here wants to start a business that is local. Even if you manufacture anywhere else in the world, country of origin is local. That makes you a local brand. Is that clear? So we need to believe in ourselves. We need to tell ourselves, we're trying to grow Nigeria right now. We're trying to do something. We need to tell ourselves that we have to use local brands. We need to buy into us. There are so many structured local brands in Nigeria right now. Zaron is one of them. Tara is one of them. Mombos is doing an amazing thing with fashion retailing. There are so many people coming up. Oriki is one of them. We need to learn to buy into local brands, because if that attitude does not change, it takes us back to where we're coming from. Are we okay? So when they ask me what's the meaning of success, I always say it's about growth and contribution. At the core of what I do is contribution. That's who I am as a person. That's what God has created me to be, and I'm grateful for that. So in Zaron, we have the Zaron Hunger Free Day. We also have the Widow's Day. Those are our serious arrow acts. And of course, I'm a widow, so it's expected to have a Widow's Day. We do Widow's Day on the 14th of February. We call deprived widows, really deprived widows. We tell them to give us a basic business plan. We give them money to start businesses. We cook for them, we love them. Thank you. We give them roses. We do makeover for them. We share our stories. We cry together. We bond. We pray together. It's an amazing day for widows. The hunger feeder, on the other hand, is when we go to deprived communities to feed thousands of children. We get them school supplies, we give them food, drinks, we party with them, just to show love and just to give back. But one thing that happened this year, went to Okoko community. And it was quite an emotional experience. We saw poverty. We've done Makoko, Zaron, all those communities, but Okoko was really, really, you saw the people that were on the screen. We had done like 800 children, but the rest people, mothers were running, they were borrowing children. It was chaotic. We could not control the crowd. There was almost going to be a stampede. We're picking children from the floor. There was this particular incident that happened with a lady. My children were there, they were crying, "Mommy, people are going to die, people are going to die." We had picked a child from the floor, and at some point we looked for the mothers and hand the children back to them. So we picked up this particular child and we said, "Who owns this baby?" And a woman came forth and she said it was hers. We gave the baby to her. She took the bag, the food, the drinks, the supplies right in front of us. She didn't do it behind us. Left that child on the ground and took off. It wasn't her child. That's what poverty can cause. It is poverty. Some of us here our businesses are holding the destinies of employing children like this.
There's always one reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction.
MJ, you can cut, we don't have time.
Beautiful release.
So even if you haven't heard anything I've said today, like I said, I'm not a public speaker, but I need to get to your conscience. I need you to start your businesses and grow it to a point. SMEs, GTBank is doing what they are supposed to do. The banks cannot employ us, the government cannot employ everybody. Your businesses, some of you sitting here, your businesses will employ those children. You know what happens? Those children, their parents manage to get them through to school. And at the end of the day, there are no jobs and they run back into these communities and they become thugs. In Zaron, we've had a cleaner before. He started as a cleaner, but he was different. He was clean. When they are doing makeup artistry in the studio, he would go see what they're doing, watch what they're doing, and at some point, customers would come, and we would just meet him trying powder on people, trying to make them look good and all that, as a cleaner. And he showed so much interest that we now started letting him do things, speak to customers, serve customers and all that. Of course, the day we called our meeting together, I said, I think this boy should be converted to a full staff. Everybody said, yes, boss lady. He's a staff now. He started part-time school. He's one of my best hands. We also have Lazarus. Lazarus' story is unbelievable. Lazarus came from Chibok. Him and his brother ran from Chibok after they lost some people. And they were on the street under the bridge for a while. I had taken permission if I could tell his story. He said yes. And they were on the street for a while. Some good Samaritan took them to their house, put them in their big queue, and they started working. We're looking for a dispatch. Somebody connected us to Lazarus because he started driving Okada. And Lazarus is probably one of the most amazing souls I have met in my life. Truly, truly, truly good soul. Lazarus finally had an accident while working for us. And his leg broke, his bone came out. Everybody was crying. I was not in the country. My sisters were crying. Everybody felt Lazarus' pain because he was such an amazing person. He went to Igbobi and he was there for a couple of months. Thank God today Lazarus can walk again. All the while Lazarus was in school, he graduated from school. Last week Lazarus sent me pictures. He had his collar ready, his youth service certificate, everything. We're so happy. We said, Lazarus, you know what? Come back home. He's now a full-time staff of Zaron. There's so many testimonies I have. There's so much we can do. There are so many businesses we can birth. We need to challenge ourselves. My time is up, but we need to challenge ourselves. Like I said before, if I haven't said anything today, take this back. I need us to build businesses in Nigeria. I need us to buy into our own. I need Nigeria 20, 40, 30 years from now. Nigeria can be a better place, and it starts from every single one of us here today. Thank you very much.
She deserves a standing ovation. Come on, guys. She does. Please give her a round of applause. If you have your questions ready, please get them ready. I would have one of the ladies please go around and just signify by raising your hand And you can also put your name to it so that we can make it quick. Now, there's a lot that I took from this session, but I have a question for you, okay? And when I first started, I asked how many entrepreneurs we had here. And I had about 70% of them, raise their hands. Now, I want to ask a question. Nigeria is in a recession. Or so it seems. Things are expensive, cost of living is high, businesses they're struggling. Everyone is just trying to make it work. You have been in for about, 5 years now. What would you say to anybody here? How can they, work with what is going on now to keep their business going? Companies are laying off staffs. People are losing their jobs every other day. How can you encourage them? What do they need to do? How can they keep their businesses moving without losing in this economy?
Okay, thank you. It's tough. I'm a Christian, I have faith, but the reality is what it is, right? So it's really tough. But what I say to people and my staff is really positive attitude and positive energy. 80% is your psychology here. 20% is what you do. So so many businesses, I've heard people say they are waiting for recession to be over before they go back to what they do, right? During recession, I've had to increase my staff salary. Not because I'm doing more volume, but because I need to let them know that we have to do more. We have to be thinking more. So this is where I place you. This is what we need to do. I've invested more this period than any other period. Because you know what? Recession is a cycle. It's going to come and go. So the people that are standing while this is over are the people that will take off. So if you put yourself on pause for this period, you might never be able to take off. So what I say is just keep doing what you do. It's the power of the mind. People are making money while in recession. The reality is what it is. I'm not taking that away. But people are still making money while in recession. So the mind is very powerful. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. The power of the mind, very powerful. Please put your hands together for that. Okay, I did say that if you have questions, if you want to put your name so that I can recognize you, that will be fine. But I have a first question here. There's no name, so if this is your question, it says, for your franchise partners, did they buy the products off you, or did you give them credit?
Okay, yes. I didn't have time to talk about all that. Our partners, like I said, when we started, we created incentives, so there was no franchise fee and all that. It's totally a mutually beneficial relationship. So what we did is, there's a price margin for franchisees, for distributors, and for end users, right? And the margins are good. So if you buy into it, you make a margin. We wanted to start the network marketing scheme because when I started, I tried to study the forever scheme, the network marketing and all that, but I just couldn't get around it. So I did the price margin, which is when we started, it was like a net of about 60%. But other things that we do for our distributors, which I did not mention, is that the reward system we do is that every year we do Distributors Day. Sometimes at the end of the year, I've had to give them return tickets to Dubai. You just have to make them happy because in Nigeria, your retailers have variety of products to sell. So why would they put yours over the next person's own? So you have to do the extra.
Wow. We have very good questions here. Thank you for that. I have another question here. It says, the question is, you talked about the customers, excuse me. Okay, you talked about doing what the customers like as a business. If that's the case, how can one stand out if everyone is doing the same thing? I think that's a very important question.
Absolutely. Everybody can't do the same thing. You know why? There are so many things you can do. I don't know if you've heard of spandex, right? She's one of the richest women in the world. So there's always a problem to solve. Before she came, how were we carrying our bellies? Nobody probably thought of anything like that. True or false? And she came up with that spandex line, and it sorted out a lot of problems. There's always something to sort out. And you don't have to create something new. See the analogy of the taxi cab and Uber. Do you understand? Cab companies were there, but Uber came, lower cost and all that, and they gave much better service. So what people are doing, you can make it better. You will not do the same thing, believe me. There's still so many opportunities in Nigeria, so many. Everything in this country is untapped. So there's so much to do.
All right. Thank you. I hope she's answering your questions the way you hoped you would, the kind of responses you hoped you'd get. All right, another one from Holmes, Bemisola. Where is Bemisola? Here. Raise your hand, let me see you. Okay. All right. She said, how long did it take you to start after all the research?
On the average, it took me 2 years.
2 years after research?
It took me 2 years to start, yes. Because you have to get it right. There's no point hurrying. We had created products that we could not even put into the market because when they came, they were not right for the market. So my people said, oh, boss lady, we can't waste all this money. We have to sell it. I said no, because you would never get a second chance to correct that. So sometimes you have products, if you know you're convinced, take the losses and get it right. So it took me 2 years. I had to go back to my manufacturers over and over again. Sometimes we get products in, we try them for 6 months to be sure it's right for the market before we put them out. So it took a lot of time.
All right. This person saying you started with 2 factors working for you before you started your business. You were a banker and you had an MBA afterwards. How did these factors help build your brand?
Okay, yes. We have a lot of people that just leave school. Our children, when they leave school these days, everybody wants to go straight into entrepreneurship, right? Which is good. But I always say to them, the experience I get from banking helped me a great deal to becoming who I am today. I think it's very important for you to get experience from a company, working with people, because there's so much to learn from it, so much. So I think I would say that doing banking, because Nigerian banking is very unique, we all know that. And the NBA, everything helped me becoming who I am today. I don't know if I would be as effective as this because I got experience from every sector that I worked in, yeah.
This one says, Eka says, when you started till date, have you experienced a very low profit in terms of sales, and how did you handle that?
We're currently experiencing low sales. We all know what's happening with the dollars and the foreign exchange and all that. So yes, our margins are very tight. We're almost losing in some products, and I can't give back the cost to my consumers because the spending power is low. So how do you marry that? How do you manage that? So it's a tough season for us, very, very tough. So the only way is just turnover base. You have to sell more. So you have to spend money to sell more. So you have to do more adverts, more publicity. You have to be in line with your consumers and your distributors and all that. So that's what we're trying to do. So yes, right now we're experiencing low sales. But like I said, I tell my people, yes. I said, you know what? This is the most stressful time for us as a business. So we are left with 2 things can happen. It's either we go down now or we come out of it. But we have just one option. That's coming out of it. The other option is not available because we're not about to go down ever. So you have to constantly be positive, and that's where we are.
This person talked about if you have a mentoring program for anyone who wants to start a business.
We don't have a structured program yet, but I know I spend a whole lot of time talking to businesses, talking to people. In fact, my staff, they're always saying, boss, you don't give us time. You're always talking to one person about business or another one. I said, that's the core, that's part of what we do, and that's probably why God has placed me, giving my story and where I'm coming from. So we don't have a structured thing, but I know that we're about to register one that we can mentor. I go to speak on sessions like that where we can mentor young businesses coming up. So yeah, this is a reminder. We'll try to do it.
All right, please let's give a big round of applause to our speaker today. Please, she deserves it. And of course, she has talked to us about building a successful corporate business in Nigeria. For those of you who are, existing entrepreneurs, I think she pretty much covered everything that you need to know. I think what we can take from today's class is the power of the mind. Definitely the factors that would hinder your business, all the things that the external factors will always come. Do you see what I mean? But when you have a mind that, this is what I want to do, you would definitely achieve it. And like she said, you know, look out for someone, you speak to someone, you have to have somebody that you can go, you know, you can talk to, that can guide you if you're lost, okay? So I would like to, you know, give a big shout out to everyone for coming out today and taking out time, and of course to GTBank, because that is what they're doing. They're promoting enterprise. I know that with this class, you can, you know, you can spread your wings and, you know, fly higher than, is there anything higher than the sky? Yeah, above it, you know, and just go on there and reach your full potential. I'd like to say a big thank you, and I'm going to do one thing. I don't know, where's my assistant, because we need to bring up the energy in the room. Okay, so please, I've just been told that you shouldn't run off immediately, because Zaron Cosmetics is giving away gift bags to every single attendee of the class. And I have to add, that is something that's very, very, very peculiar to this brand. So everyone goes in with a goodie bag. Okay, so please, my friends, come over. We're going to take a selfie, and I want you all to let people who didn't make it down here today know that they've missed. Pepper them. Pepper them. So we're going to take a selfie. I'm going to shout GTBank Fashion Weekend, okay? So, okay, I want you to come over here. Okay. And I'm going to get my phone. See, we have to sell this market too. Guys, it's not easy. You have come out, you're looking fabulous. I can see turban, I can see colors. So please, let's stand up. Oh, no, let me not stress you. Sit down, but your energy should show from your sitting down. Yes. So I'm going to turn around. Are we ready? Let me do it on Snapchat. So I'm going to count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will shout. When I say 1, you say, GTBank Fashion Weekend. Are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. GTBank Fashion Weekend! Yes! Fantastic. You guys are incredibly amazing. Don't go anywhere. The goodie bags are coming your way. I'd like to thank Oke once again for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck with everything that you do. Good luck. Let's put our hands together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? They call me DJ Spinner, aka The Cap. You enjoyed the video you just watched? Please subscribe and Danny TV. Just click below and subscribe, and you can watch more amazing videos.